Why, hello there! I did some long overdue spring cleaning of the attic this weekend and found this box of very old clothes from elementary school. I don't know about you, but I come from a household that throws absolutely nothing out. So you can just imagine the amount of chaos that is the attic. Since none of this is going anywhere, I thought, why not dig into this box and see what I can create from it? I've been craving some tank tops lately, so I picked out these 3 t-shirts to work with.
There's only so much I can get done in a day, so I decided to only make 2 tank tops. For the first one, I went for a kind of like color block vibe, just utilizing the back of the t-shirts. I have a ton of rather chaotic and colorful bottoms, so I'm in desperate need of some like basic tops to balance out my outfits. For the second top, we're going to do our best to cut around the Donald Duck graphic, keeping the bottom yellow intact and using the yellow trim from the front half to create some straps.
To do this the easy way, I'm going to take some existing tank tops that I like the shape of and draft a pattern from that, meaning I'm going to trace them onto some wrapping paper. For the black tank top, I'm just going to trace one side as the front and the back are identical when laid flat. The burgundy colored tank top has a bit of a heart-shaped neckline at the front, whereas the back is rather flat, so we're going to trace out both sides. Tracing isn't really an exact science, so make sure to grab a ruler to straighten up your lines. I recommend using a marker to draw out your final shape, as all your pencil markings can get confusing by the time you go in to cut your pattern out. To make sure the collar and armhole are even, a nice trick is to just fold your pattern in half and cut those sections together. And finally, the most important step, label your patterns. We are working with a limited amount of fabric for this project, so there is no room for mistakes as we don't have enough to recut any pieces. If you're unfamiliar with pattern pieces, I highly recommend you label every part of your pattern, for example, like this. Especially for your yellow and green top, as it will get confusing if you don't know what you are looking at. Since this top is going to feature 2 colors on each side, we need to fold the pattern in half before tracing. This is where the labeling comes in handy, as we're going to lay the pattern down with the armhole sides facing each other. On the other shirt, we will turn each pattern around before tracing. Once you've got your pieces cut out, align the center back with center back, then pin. Align the center front with center front, then pin. Align the sides of the same color, then pin, leaving the armholes open. I realized I cut the straps on the back pieces wrong, so I just went ahead and straightened it out. We can always make it cute later with the bias tape. Zigzag stitch all those pieces together, then press those seams open. Now for the bias tape. I didn't have any white bias tape on hand, so I grabbed an old t-shirt from the bin, cut the white side out, then ironed it flat. Even if the fabric is stretchy, you always want to cut the bias tape on the bias. In other words, diagonally to the horizontal and vertical lines of the fabric. This will allow for easier manipulation, especially on curves such as the neckline and armhole. In this case, I want a 1/2 inch bias tape, so I cut out a couple strips that are 2 inch thick. Imagine a line in the middle of each strip, then fold each side towards that line and iron. Then fold that in half and iron. Since we're adding bias tape, there's no need for seam allowance, so it's best to cut all that down, especially in the armhole areas. Sandwich your raw edges in bias tape, then pin them in place. Make sure not to pull or stretch on your fabric when doing this, as it will mess with the shape of your openings. Use the bias tape to create some straps, straight stitch it all in place, then poof, you're done. Now, this is a rather small t-shirt, so I'm gonna have to finesse it a bit and do my best to cut out 2 pieces from it. After cutting out the front half, I realized I didn't have enough for the back, but no worries, I'll make do. There is some stretch to this fabric, so I'm sure I'll still be able to squeeze into it. Pin the sides together, zigzag stitch, then press your seams open. The top half of the tank top was a bit odd, so I evened it out, then cut out the armholes. This fabric doesn't fray, so I didn't bother serging the raw edges, just folded once, pinned, then zigzag stitch all of it down. For the straps, I cut the yellow off the bottom front half of the shirt. Cut that in half. Folded each strip in half, then straight stitch the sides together. Bag out each tube, then iron them flat. Pin your straps in place, straight stitch, then you're done. On tank tops like this, make sure to do a neckline check. It's perfect, nice and taut. An armhole check, great on the green side, but a little iffy on the yellow side. The back is perfect, nice and high like I like it. If I had to rate this top, I give it a 9.8 out of 10. The only thing I don't love about it is the little gap on the yellow side of the armhole. It could have been avoided if I had eased the yellow fabric a little more into the bias tape when pinning. Other than that, it's perfect. If I had to rate this top, I'd give it a 5 out of 10. It's stitched well and looks cute from the front, but in the back, clearly the top is too small for me. A properly fitted garment should not have your side meat looking like that. Oh well, putting that aside, I had a fabulous time making this top, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments below. Subscribe for more content every Thursday, and thank you for watching till the very end, and I will see you next week. Bye!